The little town of Grimsby had a problem, and no one knew what to do about it.
Have you heard the news? Bert Carson is leaving!
Who? Bert? What? It can't be true.
The townspeople realized that Bert was going to create a vacancy impossible to fill.
What are we going to do without him? Bert can do so many things.
It's true. Bert knows the ins and outs of just about everything there is to know.
Bert had a small shop on Main Street. It was called the Biscuit Shop, and Bert was known affectionately as Mr. Biscuit. There was nothing he could not repair.
But Bert was much more than a repairman. Being a friendly fellow, he listened carefully while his customers told him their problems.
And he often fixed their problems too, as well as their radios, broken furniture, and other things. He was always ready to give someone a hand.
Remember the time he helped Emma Spencer get a better job? Emma had a big family to support and couldn't make ends meet with the job he had.
He's always lending people money too.
I will never forget the day of the big windstorm. Trees blew down all along Main Street and stopped the traffic. Bert soon had us all organized. Everyone on Main Street was taking hold of broken branches and pulling them out of the way.
The subjects of conversation that Bert was unable to discuss were few and far between.
It's amazing the big Bert knows. He can answer questions about science, art, music, history, anything, and on the spur of moments too. He doesn't have to consult the dictionary or a reference book.
In politics, Bert could argue equally well with a liberal or conservative.
I don't always see eye to eye with Bert, but I like the way he thinks. He's always fair.
Have you ever noticed what a remarkable memory he has? He can quote whole passages from Shakespeare perfectly.
I like the way he gets to the bottom of things. He doesn't just scratch the surface.
You're right. He gets all his information firsthand too.
One winter, Bert came down with the flu and was sick in bed for a week. This caused problems for all those citizens in Grimsby who needed work done by Bert.
There was only one thing that bothered people about Bert Carson.
He was a bachelor.
A man your age shouldn't be alone, Bert.
You should get married. You should get married.
Your life is a far cry from what it could be with the right woman at your side.
I agree. Right, all of you. But what can I do about it? I'm 40 years old. There's no eligible woman here in Grimsby.
Oh, you're too old to marry.
One afternoon, a little old lady known to everyone as Grandma Tompkins entered the pastry shop. She started immediately to talk to Bert about getting married. She made a point of reminding him of his own father.
He didn't marry until late in life. If you're not careful, you're going to be just like him.
Grandma, you know the problem. There's no one here in Grimsby for me to marry.
You've got a car, haven't you? Go to some other town to find a wife.
What Grandma Tompkins said made sense. Of course, that was the solution. He should have thought of it himself.
Bert started visiting nearby towns on weekends. It took a long time, but finally he found just the person he wanted for a wife.
She was a widow, just a year younger than Bert. Her name was Ida Clark and she lived in Easton, only 30 miles away.
Bill was fine on the head first.
What has?
Bert found a wife, and from all I hear, she's just right for him.
What wonderful news. Have you met her yet?
I've met her.
You've met
I must admit that she doesn't make a remarkable first impression, but you soon come to like her. She grows on you.
Everyone in Grimsby was delighted.
Their delight ended quickly. However,
I'll be moving to Easton right after your wedding. I've made up my mind. That's where I want to live.
Bert, you can't do that to us.
Bert, you mustn't go. Please, Bert. You mustn't go,
We
Bert.
want to let you get away with this, but when you suggested that you get married, we meant for you to bring your wife to live in Grimsby.
Yeah, bring your wife.
Suddenly, everyone seemed to be angry with Bert, who at least he felt stable. He tried to give them his reasons for living.
First of all, It has a big home, beautiful big home in Easton. As you know, my home here is quite small. Second, the man who has the repair shop in Easton is retiring.
Oh, Bert, no.
It's an excellent opportunity for me to take over.
No.
Third, Willie Adams, who has been helping me here in the shop, is very competent. He can easily take over.
You can't do
The
that.
people didn't think much of Bert's excuses, and the more they discussed the situation, the more upset they became.
What are we going to do?
I don't think we realize until now just how important Bert has been to this house.
No one can take his place.
The day of the wedding drew near. The people of Grimsby still refused to believe Bert intended to leave them.
I'm only 30 miles away from her.
That's far.
And I'll come back to Grimsby often. It isn't as though I was going away for good.
As luck would have it, Grandma Tompkins, who had suggested Bert look elsewhere for a while, was visiting her daughter in St. Louis. She hadn't heard the news about Bert and Ida.
Just before the wedding, she returned to Grimsby. She found everyone in a very depressed state.
Grandma was not like the other people in Grimsby. She didn't sit around mourning when things went wrong. She got down to work and did something about them.
I mean, what's wrong?
We bent over backwards to persuade Bert to stay.
He won't listen to us.
He really pays to live.
Grimsby's real problem is that it's behind the time and has been for years. It's time we got on our toes. Bert is smart to live. If I were in his shoes, I'd live too.
What do you mean, Grandma?
For years, Grimsby has been a quiet little village. We've done well enough without a municipal government growing. We're big enough now to have a mayor. We should take steps to get one.
Oh, man. Here?
Certainly. And can you think of a better man for the job than Bert Costin? He has it in him to be an excellent mayor.
What is living?
Do you think he'd move away if he were elected mayor of Grimsby?
Of course, Bert can't move away if he's our mayor.
Let's have an election right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
The problem was that a town meeting was held,
Whoa!
and Bert Carson was unanimously elected the first mayor of Grimsby.
There was nothing he could do but agree to stay. Ida sold her house and moved to Grimsby.
We have no choice, Bert. We have to
Whoa!
stay. Besides, all the idea of being a mayor's wife.
I guess you're right. Anyway, I think it'll be fun to try my hand at being a mayor.
The people of Grimsby were happy again. They agreed to that they owed it all to Grandma Tompkins.
If there isn't one way to solve a problem, there is always another. If you're really bent on finding a solution, that is, you just have to be patient, and in the long run, you find a way.